Hello, everyone. First of all, let me apologize to you. I really wanted to be there, but unfortunately, I was also in Rio de Janeiro for AIDS 2026, learning all I could about HIV cure. I hope to see you all in person sometime in the future. And now let's get on with the presentation. Today, we are going to learn about HIV cure research. Scientists have made exciting progress, but we are not yet at a cure. I'll explain what researchers mean by a cure, why they think it's possible, and some of the different ideas they are testing. When people hear the word cure, they often think HIV is completely gone forever, and that is one type of cure. The second type is when a person can stop taking HIV medicine, but their body keeps HIV under control. Researchers call this HIV remission or post-treatment control. Both are important goals. People living with HIV have been very clear about what they want. A cure should be safe, simple, affordable, and available to everyone, not just a few people. It should last a long time and stop HIV from being passed to others. For many years, people thought curing HIV was impossible. But over the last 15 years, several people have shown us that a cure may actually be possible. The first person ever cured of HIV was Timothy Ray Brown, known as the Berlin patient. His cure changed everything. Before Timothy, many scientists thought curing HIV was impossible. His case showed that a cure could happen, and it launched today's HIV cure research in earnest. Since then, several more people have been cured using a similar approach. 3 of them, Adam Castillejo, Mark Franke, and Paul Edmonds, have chosen to share their stories publicly and become advocates for HIV cure research. They help people understand why this research matters. You may notice that when many people cured are known by the city where they were treated, like the Berlin patient, the London patient, or the Dusseldorf patient. These names were first used to protect their privacy before they decided whether to reveal their identities. These people are important because they prove that an HIV can sometimes be cured. Each case has taught researchers something new. Every new person helps scientists better understand what worked and how it might be used to help others. Here is the growing list of people who have been cured of HIV. Some have shared their names publicly, like the men on the previous slide. Others have chosen to remain anonymous and are only known by the city where they were treated to protect their privacy. Today, there are 13 people believed to have been cured of HIV. So what do they all have in common? Every one of them received a stem cell transplant. Stem cells are starter cells that make all of our blood and immune cells. Doctors use stem cell transplants to treat serious blood cancers like leukemia and lymphoma. It's important to remember that these transplants were not done to cure HIV. They were done to save the person's life from cancer. The HIV cure happened as an unexpected result, which is why scientists became so interested in studying these cases. How can a stem cell transplant cure HIV? Well, first, strong chemotherapy removes most of the person's old immune system. Then doctors give healthy stem cells from a donor. These cells build a brand new immune system. In these rare cure cases, the donor had a rare genetic change called CCR5 delta 32. This makes many immune cells hard for HIV to infect. Over time, HIV became undetectable even after HIV medicine was stopped. Why isn't this a cure for everyone? Well, this is not a treatment most people should have. Stem cell transplants are very dangerous and can even cause death. They are only used when someone already needs one for cancer. They are also very expensive, take months to recover from, and very few donors have that rare CCR5 change. For almost everyone living with HIV, modern HIV medicines are much safer. Most people who are called controllers still have HIV in their bodies. Their immune system is simply very good at keeping the virus under control without HIV medicine. But a very small group are called exceptional elite controllers. They are different because scientists cannot find any intact virus in their bodies, even after searching through billions of cells. This raises the exciting possibility that their immune systems may have removed the virus almost completely on their own. Two of the best-known exceptional elite controllers are women. Laureen Willenberg, also known as the San Francisco patient, devoted many years of her life to HIV research. She sadly passed away earlier this year after battling cancer, but her generosity continues to help scientists learn how a natural cure might happen. The other is the Esperanza patient from Argentina. She has chosen to keep her identity private, but she recorded a video message that was shared with the world during AIDS 2026 in Rio. Her story reminds us that people can make a powerful contribution to science even while remaining anonymous. If researchers can understand how these women's immune systems worked, they may be able to develop treatments that help many more people control or even eliminate HIV. Some people receive a treatment, stop taking HIV medicine, and their body keeps HIV under control for many years. This is called post-treatment control. It is important to remember that this is not a cure. HIV is still in the body, but it stays under control without daily medicine. On the right are a few examples researchers are learning from. One person in the Netherlands has controlled HIV for nearly 20 years after stopping treatment. A woman in Barcelona has remained off HIV medicine for about 15 years without the virus returning. Researchers have also identified groups of post-treatment controllers in studies like CHAMP and Visconti. By comparing these people, scientists hope to discover what allows some immune systems to keep HIV under control after treatment ends. Individual cases are inspiring, but cohorts like CHAMP and Visconti help scientists identify patterns, which is why both kinds of examples are valuable. Now, let's look at some of the main ideas researchers are testing today. Most are still experimental, but each teaches us more about how HIV hides and how we might stop it. The first cure strategy we'll look at is called kick and kill. HIV has a way of hiding inside resting immune cells. Scientists call this latency, which simply means the virus is sleeping. While HIV is asleep, it doesn't make any new virus, and the immune system can't easily find it. The idea behind this strategy is to wake up the virus. That's the kick. Once the virus is awake and active, the immune system, antibodies, or other medicines try to find those infected cells and destroy them. That's the kill. It sounds simple, but has been much harder than researchers expected. So far, clinical trials have shown that scientists can often wake up some of the hidden virus, but they have not been very successful at removing enough infected cells to produce a long-term HIV remission. Even though it has not led to a cure, these studies have taught researchers a great deal about where HIV hides and why eliminating it is so difficult. Those lessons are helping scientists design better strategies today. The second cure strategy is called broadly neutralizing antibodies, or BNAbs. Antibodies are proteins made by our immune system to recognize germs. Broadly neutralizing antibodies are special because they can recognize and block many different types of HIV, even though HIV changes very quickly. Researchers hope these antibodies can help stop HIV from infecting new cells and also help the immune system find and remove infected cells. Earlier, we talked about post-treatment control. That's when someone stops taking HIV medicine, but their body keeps the virus under control for a long time. One reason researchers are so excited about BNAbs is that some people in clinical trials have achieved post-treatment control after receiving these antibodies. It doesn't happen to everyone, and it isn't considered a cure because HIV is still in the body, but it shows that, in some people, BNAbs can help the immune system keep HIV under control without daily medicine. Because of these encouraging results, many researchers believe BNAbs are one of the most promising HIV cure strategies being studied today. Scientists are now testing BNAbs together with other cure strategies, hoping that combination approaches will help even more people achieve long-term HIV remission. The third cure strategy is called cell and gene therapy. In this approach, scientists collect a person's own immune cells from their blood and change them in a laboratory before putting them back into the body. One way they make these changes is by using powerful genetic editing tools. You may have heard of CRISPR. Well, it works like a pair of molecular scissors that can cut DNA at very specific spots. After making the cut, scientists can remove, change, or add pieces of DNA. The goal is to give the immune system new abilities. Some approaches try to make immune cells resistant to HIV so virus cannot infect them. Other approaches train immune cells to find HIV-infected cells faster and kill them more effectively. This is one of the most exciting areas of HIV cure research because it has the potential to create long-lasting protection after a single treatment. But it is still in the early stages of clinical testing, and researchers believe it will likely take many more years before we know if it is safe and effective for large numbers of people. Even if these treatments work, another challenge will be cost and access. Cell and gene therapies are very expensive today and require specialized hospital and laboratories. If they become successful HIV cures, researchers, governments, and communities will need to work together to make sure they are available to people around the world, not just those living in the wealthy countries. The fourth cure strategy is called block and lock. Earlier, when we talked about kick and kill, we learned that HIV can hide inside immune cells in a sleeping state called latency. Kick and kill tries to wake up the virus so it can be destroyed. Block and lock takes the opposite approach. Instead of waking up HIV, scientists want to keep it asleep forever. The goal is to block the virus from reading its own genetic instructions and making new copies of itself. Then they hope to lock HIV into its sleeping state so it can never wake up again, even if a person stops taking HIV medicine. If this works, HIV would still be in the body, but it would stay permanently silent and harmless. This would be considered a form of a long-term HIV remission, not a complete cure. This strategy is still in the early stages of research, but it gives scientists another way to think about solving the HIV problem. Instead of trying to remove every last infected cell, they may be able to keep HIV asleep for life. We've looked at 4 different cure strategies. You might wonder, which one will work? The answer may be more than one. Many researchers believe it will take 2 or more strategies working together to achieve HIV remission or a cure. Scientists are already testing these combinations in clinical trials. HIV cure research may end up looking a lot like cancer treatment. There isn't one cure for every cancer. Doctors study each patient's disease and choose the treatments most likely to work. One day, HIV treatment may be personalized the same way, based on a person's virus, immune system, and genetics. There's an interesting connection here. The first HIV drug, AZT, was originally developed as a cancer drug. It would be fitting if the path to an HIV cure also follows lessons learned from cancer treatment. We don't know which combination will succeed, but every clinical trial brings us one step closer. Thank you for your attention. HIV cure research has made amazing progress, but there is still much more to learn. Every study and every volunteer helps us move one step closer to a safe and effective cure for everyone.